That is the subject of tonight's Waters Words. So every day in this country, we read about things that 5, 10, 15 years ago, we would have said, that's impossible. This would never happen in the United States of America. But in 2017, the impossible is now possible. So we've compiled the most absurd things that occurred this week to show you, the American people, how straight up ridiculous things have gotten. Maybe after watching this, we can all reflect and learn a thing or two. Let's begin. At the White House press briefing this week, Urban Radio Network's reporter April Ryan actually asked President Trump's spokesperson the following question.
Does this president believe slavery was wrong?
Let's play it again and let it sink in.
Does this president believe slavery was wrong?
What the hell kind of question is that? What a waste.
Yeah, why would you waste your question on that? Because you have nothing.
Sanders responded.
I think it is disgusting and absurd to suggest that anyone inside of this building would support slavery.
Absurd is the correct word. Speaking of, recall how the left is trying to remove monuments of our founding fathers throughout Washington, D.C., but this just in. They want to erect a monument to former D.C. Mayor Marion Barry. In case you don't remember, Barry was caught in a FBI sting smoking crack.
You'll still have the right to stop answering anytime. You also have to stop answering.
These are the people that we almost let keep running our country.
He got locked up for that. The mayor has passed. The cost of the statue, $300,000. Taxpayer money. So, Thomas Jefferson statue, no. Marion Barry statue, yes. Moving on. So this week, a Muslim terrorist mowed down 8 people in his van in Lower Manhattan. Luckily, an NYPD officer shot him and took him down. The immigrant from Uzbekistan survived and asked to fly an ISIS flag in his hospital room. President Trump tweeted this. NYC terrorist was happy as he asked to hang ISIS flag in his hospital room. He killed 8 people, badly injured 12, should get death penalty. Now, Wall Street Journal reporter Eli Stokolos took issue with the president's call for the death penalty.
My goodness.
The unifying thread is the sort of broader politics of Donald Trump.
This guy better hope I never meet him.
Nationalism. He did not react this way when a white person shot dozens of people in Las Vegas. He did not come and say, well, we have to do an immediate policy change. We need to give this guy the death penalty.
Hey, Eli, President Trump didn't call for the death penalty for the Vegas shooter because the Vegas shooter killed himself after the massacre. You're a reporter. You're supposed to know that.
What the fuck?
Do your homework. But not to be outdone, MSNBC terror analyst Malcolm Nance said this after the NYC attack.
What you're seeing is not Islam whatsoever. None of this is condoned, including the sacrificing and getting yourself killed at the end of a terrorist attack. None of that is Islamic. It's anti-Islamic. Even Christians, we've seen Catholics in Canada who converted to quote-unquote Islam and then carried out acts of terror.
So a Muslim immigrant who was radicalized by ISIS, yelled Allah Akbar, and killed innocent Americans has nothing to do with Islam. Nothing at all. Not even a little bit. And maybe he was a Catholic convert? I guess spouting absurdity like that is how you become a terror analyst on MSNBC. And how do you get a tech job at the DNC? Don't be a straight white male. That's right. The Democratic National Committee Data Service Manager, Madeline Leader, wrote an email looking for resumes to fill their tech positions. But she had one small qualification. I personally would prefer that you not forward to cisgender straight white males, as they are already in the majority. Now, I don't even know what a cisgender
That's where our
means.
country's at.
I had to look it up. Apparently, it means their gender corresponds to the anatomy that they were born with. Meaning, like, I'm a man. Now, could you imagine if the DNC sent out an email saying gay blacks need not apply?
They're trying to change our rights over 1% of the population.
Should be, don't get us hacked again. And finally, not in America, but absurd nonetheless, a prominent Egyptian lawyer went on television and said it is a man's duty to rape a woman if she dresses provocatively.
That's where the world's at.
وقطع نص فخدتها باينه المؤخره.
احنا بيرضينا احنا ما بناخدش بالنا من
انا قلت
بلدنا.
ايه؟ انا قلت البنت اللي تمشي كده يبقى التحرش بيها واجب وطني.
ايه ينفع الكلام ده؟
Now, the lawyer's not even backing down, saying he was protecting morals. And that, my friends, is absurd.
Well, President Trump right now on his way to Tokyo, which will be the first international stop of his Asian trip. That will include stops in Seoul, Beijing, Vietnam, and the Philippines. You know, on his first stop when he lands in Tokyo, he will be scheduled to meet with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe tomorrow. On the agenda between the two, of course, trade between our two countries and the continuing and looming threat from North Korea. As you know, they've launched several missiles over Japanese territory and threatened us. Here's National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster.
President Trump will reiterate the plain fact that North Korea threatens not just our allies South Korea and Japan and the United States. North Korea is a threat to the entire world, so all nations of the world must do more to counter that threat.
Harry Kassianis joins us. He's Director of Defense Studies at the Center for the National Interest. Harry, good to see you. Do you think our allies, and more specifically Beijing, will get that very message?
Eric, I think they're absolutely going to get this message. And to be frank with you, I think this is actually the most important presidential visit that President Trump might ever actually go on. And the reasons are quite clear. What the president needs to do in going out to Asia is essentially reassure all of our critical allies when it comes to the North Korean threat. And this is a threat, to be honest with you, people like myself and other experts did not see coming. I always thought North Korea was probably 2 to 3 years away from developing intercontinental ballistic missiles that could hit the United States. But we have to keep in mind, our Asian allies in Japan and Seoul, they've been dealing with this threat for years now, and we're just getting hit with it head on. So I think the president has a tall task ahead of him, but I think it's something that he could accomplish.
Yeah, and there's even one projection that we could have nuclear-tipped North Korean missiles able to hit America completely by next year.
Eric, I'm going to be honest. I think they can actually do it right now. They have all of the technological pieces that they need to do it. They have long-range missiles. According to the Washington Post this summer, they were able to miniaturize warheads and put them on those missiles. People at the Pentagon have told me that they have the
blah, 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 blah.
It's just a question if they have the heat shield
Straight up,
technology.
I look at all this stuff as blah, blah. That right there, that is what it is. But, I mean, you see how these people think. The things that they're willing to go on the news and say, and you're just like, wait, what? I mean, these people are morons. It's completely insane. And I mean, if, like, somehow maybe they believe what they're saying, they've been brainwashed. But that's how stupid